Welcome into the Betfred Friday College Football Show. I am Drew Martin. This is presented by Betfred Sportsbooks. Betfred live in Arizona, Iowa, Colorado, Louisiana, Ohio, Washington, Pennsylvania, and Nevada. And happy to have them as a sponsor, guys. This sportsbook, in terms of personalization, I think the best out there. Betfred provides the most personalized betting experience on the market. From in-person events with betting competitions, weekly promotional offers that fit your betting size and patterns, and the personal touch you won't get anywhere else, Betfred gives you more. Got 3 games on the slate. Happy to break them down with you. Hopefully go 3-0. If not 2-1, we will take it, guys. Just like last week's show, week 1, starting off 2-1, up 0.9 units. So let's get after it. Actually got an early kick, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, a midday kick, and a late night kick. So if you're a sports bettor out there and you like action throughout your Saturday, I got you covered here with 3 games. So getting into the first one here, Memphis and Navy, 3:30 Eastern. We got Memphis minus 5.5 point road favorites, 49 being the total. Annapolis, Maryland, Memorial Stadium here, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific kick. And I am going with the ugly dog here, the Navy midshipmen. Yes, they just lost to an FCS team, only scored 1 touchdown, did not look good overall. But the fact is, I got a couple reasons here why I'm going on the military academy. First off, let's talk about the Memphis side of things. They got a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. So 2 new guys kind of calling the plays on both sides of the ball. They lost their best offensive lineman from last season, both of their 2 best wide receivers, and they just got 1 starter back on the defensive line. Now they're having to go up against this option attack from the midshipmen with that new defensive line. I don't trust it here. It's kind of a tough trip for Memphis to make it up here to the north, to the state of Maryland. And when you go from week 1 to week 2, and you look at what the defense has to face and the drastic differences, this is probably the most prime, the biggest difference of any week 2 defense in terms of what they face week 1 and week 2. In week 1, Memphis faced Mississippi State, the Pirate, Mike Leach, throwing it around offense. And now they're going to have to stop the triple option. They're the road team as well with just, the 1 week here. So 3 days of practice, hitting the road, having to prepare for the option. I don't think this sets up well at all from a schedule standpoint. Couple other things here. Memphis just 0-10 against the spread under Ryan Silverfield, their new head coach here on the road. 0-10 against the spread. For whatever reason, they have not been able to travel well and cover the point spread. And when you look at Navy's side of things, look, it's ugly. They lost to the FCS team. But the fact is, Delaware, a top 10 FCS football team. And you can't just blanket, say FCS schools, because there's a wide difference. And Delaware, number 10 in the rankings. They had all offseason to prepare for the triple option. So they were ready to go up against Navy. And Navy actually outgained them 319 to 202. So I almost feel like it was a little bit misleading of a final score. Last thing here to kind of put the cherry on top and why I'm choosing Navy. Memphis just has not played well when going up to Annapolis. They actually did not cover the last time out. They were 13-point favorites 2 years ago. They only won 10-7. That was in 2020 in a really ugly, slow-played game. And the time before that, they were minus 7-point favorites at Navy, and they lost outright 22-21. I think it's a really sloppy game, low possession game. The total's telling us that at just 49. I'm taking the dog here, plus 5.5. Sprinkle some guys on the plus 190 money line as well. So let's go with the midshipmen, plus 5.5 to start us off here, 3:30 Eastern. Got one late night for you, 11 p.m. Arizona hosting Mississippi State. We're seeing the Bulldogs here from the SEC West, the big bad SEC team. Minus 10.5 point road favorites in Tucson, 57 being the total. First off, another travel spot here. Starkville, Mississippi to Tucson, Arizona. I don't know. I've never made the trip. Doesn't sound easy. It hasn't been done very often before. Definitely a unique trip here. When was the last time Mississippi State actually played near the West Coast? I don't know. It's been a long time. look, Mississippi State, they lose both their starting tackles here, their left tackle and their right tackle on the offensive line. And there's, we talk about kind of scheme changes. Mississippi State looked good against Memphis. It's, the first game we just talked about, Memphis here. But an interesting tidbit here, their defensive coordinator, Zach Arnett, he's actually from San Diego State. That was his stop before. So what Arizona's offense has to prepare for, they just played San Diego State and they won outright as a dog. And the defensive scheme, not exactly the same, but it's going to be a similar defensive scheme that they just saw with San Diego State. So I think that actually helps the Arizona side of things offensively. Plus, look ahead spot here for the Bulldogs. They got LSU on deck. They're heading to Baton Rouge. And in terms of rivalries in the SEC, the Mississippi schools, when they got LSU on their schedule, it's definitely kind of an asterisk there to get ready for. So that's a look ahead spot here for Mississippi State. Tough road trip. And on the Arizona side of things, guys, Arizona was one of the most impressive teams in week 1 college football. In terms of last year, they were just 1-11 straight up. And then they come out and beat San Diego State as the dog. I think it says something here to Jed Fish's team. They got 50 new players this season. And if you're handicapping college football the same that you were handicapping college football 5 or 10 years ago, I think you're doing it wrong. The transfer portal with kids just being able to leave, you got to be quicker on your feet with some of these power ratings. And I think the market has kind of got an anchor here on Arizona in terms of their power rating being too low. I think that 38-20 win outright as the dog over San Diego State, spoiling their kind of opening for their new stadium. Look, they doubled them up yard-wise. I mean, it was 461 to 232 in terms of yards gained against the Aztecs. And they have the Pac-12 Freshman Player of the Year from last season from Washington State, Jaden Delaria. I think that he runs around there and, has enough mobility to kind of create plays, stay within this 10.5 number. Am I a little bit worried that they get pushed around up front? Yeah, I am. But I think that his mobility at the quarterback position kind of at least helps them enough. Maybe that back door's open. They're going to be gunning it down. That's what we saw in week 1. I'm taking Arizona late night here, guys. 11 p.m. Eastern kick. UFC going on as well. Hopefully you got a lot of TVs here, and they cover this 10.5 looking towards the Wildcats. Got one game left. Do want to give a shout out here to Betfred Sportsbook, the sponsor of the show. Really happy to have a sponsor here at Drew Martin Bets on Twitter and YouTube. Of course, Betfred is live in all the states listed here. If you're in Arizona, if you're in Iowa, Colorado, Louisiana, Ohio, Washington, Pennsylvania, Nevada, I got a link on YouTube. You can get the $50 up to $250 here, a bonus just by watching this video if you click the link. And if you don't know anything about Betfred, they're one of Europe's biggest sports books. It started in 1967 by Fred Drone. They are now in the U.S. They have hit the market in a big way as the official betting partner of the Denver Broncos, Colorado Rockies, and soon to be the betting partner of the Cincinnati Bengals. We're currently licensed in, last time here, Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Washington, Maryland, and soon Ohio. So guys, each and every Friday here, breaking down 3 games on the Saturday slate, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, 1:30 Eastern. Last game here, actually kicking us off. So started with the 3:30 slate instead of the 12 noon slate. But 9 a.m. Pacific kick here. High IQ matchup. We get Wake Forest and Vanderbilt. The Demon Deacons in the Commodores coming to us from Nashville, Tennessee. We're seeing Wake Forest minus 13-point road favorites. Total of 65. And this one going early, and I'm going up and over the total of 65. Might think, man, 65 points, it's a lot. It is high for a reason. Couple reasons why. Quarterback Sam Hartman for Wake Forest, he's likely to play here. And if you watch Wake Forest last season, what they had 10, 11 wins, they were a heck of an offense in the ACC. They throw it all around, so an incomplete pass stops the clock, but they go up tempo as well. And even if Sam Hartman doesn't take all the snaps, Their backup, Mitch Griffs, he actually threw the ball really well. His completion percentage was very good in week 1 against an FCS opponent, threw for over 500 yards. In terms of total yards, 500 yards. They had 37 points going into the fourth quarter, and then they kind of sat on the ball in the fourth quarter. So I don't think that setup will necessarily happen again against Vanderbilt in the SEC conference here. I think they give them a little bit more of a game. And Vanderbilt 2-0 out the gate. They beat Hawaii, and then they went and beat the Elon Phoenix, and they scored 105 points combined. I don't know, just doing a little bit of research. I didn't go back, 100 years or anything with Vanderbilt football, but this is the most potent offense, at least scoring wise, that they've had in the history that I found here. They also gave up 42 points against. So this is a team that's already had 150 points scored in 2 games. Either they scored or they gave it up. This Vanderbilt team circled as an over team, and Wake Forest is over, pedal to the metal all the way. Actually, Vanderbilt's defense gave up 426 yards on average, and they already are 2-0 to the over. So both of these 2 teams circled as over. The market has pushed it up from 62. We're seeing 65 at Betfred here. I like it up and over to kick us off on Saturday. Over 65, Wake Forest and Vanderbilt. In recap, guys, got it late night here. Arizona plus 10.5 as the dog. Got another dog here. It's an ugly dog, and that's the Navy Midshipmen in the American Athletic Conference matchup at home, Annapolis, Maryland. Navy plus 5.5, Arizona plus 10.5, and Vanderbilt and Wake over 65. So hopefully we go 2-1 like last week. If not, 3-0. Let's try to get this, guys. If you're liking the content, please smash the like button. Feel free to reply below on YouTube, here on Twitter as well. If you could smash that like button, it will help us out. Retweet, anything to share. Be back next Friday as well, 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Drew Martin signing out. Check out Betfred Sportsbook. Thanks for tuning in, guys.